Hey everyone, welcome to Craving Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Now in this video, I'm going to discuss Neve Campbell's recent statements about the filming timeline for Scream 7. I will share her exact comments, and I will also explain my thoughts on the filming date change and how it could impact the story of the movie and also the release date. So, now it is time to dive in and see what Neve had to share. Let's go!
Hey, this is Lee Waddell, the original Ghostface from Wes Craven's Scream, and you are watching and tuned into Craving Something Scary.
So Neve Campbell was interviewed by IndieWire just a few days ago, and at the closing of the article, she addressed Scream 7 and the filming timeline. So let's take a look at what actually is in the article. And it says, despite Campbell's own personal reticence toward enjoying horror films on her own time, she's very excited to get back to Scream in its 7th installment, this one directed by original scribe Kevin Williamson. This is, after all, a star who seems to love being busy. Quote, I'm very, very happy it's happening, Campbell said. We were supposed to start in September, but we're going to start in December now because of some scheduling stuff with Kevin and myself and having all that aligned. And actually, I think it's a good thing because we're probably going to be able to have the time to get it really right. So I'm very excited about it, end quote. Okay, guys, so here are my thoughts on the article. Again, I know this article came out a few days ago. You've probably seen it on other places, and that's okay. Like, I wasn't trying to bring this to you guys right when it came out, because I want to add extra value for you guys to these videos. So that's why you'll maybe see me sometimes wait 2 to 3 days or even longer, perhaps, depending on what it is, from when the article came out, because I like to think it through. I don't want to just rush and tell you something and then not have value added to it. So it gives me a chance to think it through and look at some possibilities and then share those things with you. So having said all of that, I want to go back to Neve Campbell's, where she said, there was some scheduling stuff with Kevin and myself and having all of that aligned. And that very well could be the case. Like, I'm not going to say that's not true at all. But also, the side benefit of this starting in December is that it also will ensure that Patrick Dempsey will be done filming his parts for the Dexter series coming out, the prequel for Dexter that he signed on for. And so and here's the other thing too. If this was actually about making it to accommodate Patrick Dempsey, well, number one, Neve Campbell will not say that, and she probably contractually even can't say that. But who's been announced so far? Well, Kevin's been announced, Neve's been announced, and even Courtney was just confirmed she was going to be in a couple of days ago. So, but when this article was done, it was Kevin and Sydney, or Neve rather. So it's of course not spoiling anything when she says, her and Kevin's schedules. And again, there could be truth to that. But I also think it's not a coincidence, guys, that it coincides with knowing that Patrick Dempsey is filming this series. So I think this gives us real hope for all of you like myself that are looking for having Patrick Dempsey come back as Mark Kincaid And it seems to me, if you're going to have a Sydney-focused story, you have to have Mark Kincaid. You have to have her husband as well. It just doesn't make sense for him to be, on assignment somewhere, or whatever, once you could always do that. But they've already done an off-site thing in Scream 5 with Mark being away with the kids. So it's time now that we see him back. And I hope he's back for the whole movie and not an opening kill or something. So we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, that was the first observation that jumped out to me. And I love this also that she said they will have time, or they will have the time to get things right. And what I think about when I read that is, well, obviously they're not talking about correcting performances or shots and reshoots. This is talking about the script. Time to get things right. I think that could mean that more script revisions are still taking place right now. And perhaps Kevin Williamson himself is making some changes to the story, because the script was allegedly done and finished by Guy Busick. But I do believe that her comment about how this is a good thing because we're going to be able to have the time to get it really right, I interpret that very, very high percentage chance she's talking about the script, getting that story really, really right. So that's exciting to me. When I read that, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. That's what I like to hear. And because Kevin Williamson, as you guys all know, is primarily a writer, not a director. So him getting that script and redlining it and changing things and tightening it up, if you will, are going to be things that are going to be important to him, because this is his baby. He wrote it. He started this franchise with this script, and Wes brought it to life. So anyway, guys, I think that's good. And I mean, it gives me hope that they're still continuing to tweak the story and the script. Now, another thing, too, she said they start in December. We don't know when it ends. But if we're going off that Production Weekly magazine a couple of weeks ago, when they had stated it would start in September, end in December, that's 4 months, because that's September, the month of October, November, and December. 4 months of shooting. And if we assume that continues here, then you're looking at the month of December, January, February, and March. So wrapping up filming by the end of March. And there's no way a Scream movie is going to take 4 months to shoot. So this, to me, again, screams out that they are going to be filming 2 movies at the same time. They've already got Scream 7 and 8 scripted out, and they're connected together. And I believe that, we may see a massive cliffhanger ending to Scream 7. And it's going to roll right into Scream 8, which they're filming at the same time, probably release it a year later from Scream 7. That's what I'm thinking about here. We'll have to keep an eye on Production Weekly once the changes there are updated and see if it's still calling for a 4-month filming schedule. If it is, I'm standing behind my idea that this is a 2-movie shoot, back to back. All right, and then finally, how does this affect the release date? Because if it wraps in March, then you're looking at 4 to 6 months of post-production, editing, all of the sound, everything. I mean, it's a lot of work to be done. So let's say 4 months of that. Go on the fast track. That's April, May, June, July. So that means they could release it like in August of next year, if they wanted to really move it and get moving quickly on the post-production. But then remember, you got to do the marketing too. You got to give it time. They don't want to rush out marketing and then the movie's there. The marketing has to take a while to seep in. Multiple commercials, banners, ads, all those things go into it. So you're going to need to have a set in time length of promoting it, then you drop it. So I think that this puts us even closer to the reality that we might get Scream 7 in October for Halloween month. And I think that, it's never happened. And I think this is potentially the closest I've ever seen to it happening, because of the shooting ending. If it's a 4-month shoot, ends in March. Post-production begins in April. That could be really exciting stuff, guys. So lots of potential things here. All of it's good, in my opinion. I don't think any of this is bad. I think it's good, and it gets me excited. All right, guys. Now listen, I want to know what you think of the new filming timeline change. How do you think it will impact Scream 7? You think it will, how much will it delay the release? All those things and more. I want to know what you're thinking about all this, and any ideas and theories you may have regarding Scream 7 and the timeline change. So, you have a voice here. I say it all the time. On my channel, you have a voice, but you can only be heard if you leave a comment in the comment sections below right now. That's how you use your voice and state your opinions, your thoughts, your theories, and we can interact in the chat, in the comments. All right, so I look forward to discussing it with you. I'll be looking for your comments right away, and hopefully we can have a great discussion. Well, that's going to be all for this update, but I'll be back soon with more Scream 7 and other horror movie content. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, this is Craven Something Scary, where it's all horror all the time. Thanks for watching.